Let's see where it goes, but it's hurting some of the Indian stocks for now. M.K. Surana, CMD of HPCL, is with us now. Mr. Surana, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. Brent crude has moved from 60 to 70, in a rather rapid manner. We have not seen the same translating into pump prices. Is it because of elections? Has there been a bit of a nudge from the government?
No, I would not like to answer this question at this stage. As far as crude prices are concerned, that there are some specific issues right now, like the hangover, whether the Iran sanction will be extended. There is a problem with the Venezuela sanctions and the power cuts. Then there are some unrest in Libya, which is giving rise to momentary spikes. It has not spiked substantially because there is a reduction in there is an increase in the inventory of US crude stock in the last week, if you would have seen. There may be momentary spikes, maybe because of some speculation activities, if you see the long sale increased, but I still see the long-term crude prices are $65 to $70.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Surana. No, I mean, I'll tell you why Anuj is asking you this. We thought that the price was on autopilot, that the calculations happen, you all just feed in the raw material and inventory prices, and you get the price for the day. It's not that way?
No, I answered this question earlier also, but as I mentioned, at this stage I will not like to answer because of the general situation.
Okay. Well, sir, I wanted to ask you also about this, the news item that L&T has dispatched the heaviest hydrocracker reactor to you. Can you just tell us what is happening at your Vizag plant, and therefore what does it mean for numbers in FY20?
No, as you know, our Vizag Refinery is going for expansion, and the hydrocracker which has been dispatched by L&T last week, this is the highest weight hydrocracker reactor made ever in India. It is 1,680 ton single vessel. In fact, in the last week of March, we have erected our main CDU and VDU columns, which was also the longest single column dispatch from L&T. That was CDU column, and VDU column was the largest diameter vessel oversized consignment dispatch. So our Vizag Refinery expansion is on track and the activity is on full swing. As I mentioned earlier, when the expansions come into commissioning, our capacity of Vizag Refinery will increase from 8.3 million metric ton to 15 million metric ton. And with the bottom-up gradation project, which is a part of that, the GRMs will improve substantially of Vizag Refinery for the full 15 million ton capacity. So we are looking for volume growth as well as the profitability growth in Vizag Refinery because of the improved distillate yields.
Mr. Surana, good morning. When you say GRMs will improve, what about the blended GRMs? Last quarter, they had hit that low of $3.6 a barrel. How much will they normalize to over the next, say, 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, January saw the lowest of the Singapore GRMs, and that have improved after that, basically because of the strengthening of MS cracks. And we see that the next quarter also it should remain in that range. The Singapore margins, which has come to less than $3, are expected to be around $5 to $6. As far as HPCL is concerned, we also expect the GRMs to be in that range.
Okay.
But I must say that this expansion project is not coming into commissioning in the next quarter. It is the next year. But in general, there is an improvement in the GRMs.
FY21?
FY20.
Okay.
As far as the expansion is concerned, it is 2021.
Sure, fair enough. So, Mr. Surana, what is the current marketing margin on petrol and diesel, sir?
I mentioned earlier also that right now I do not want to make any specific comment on the domestic pricing.
Sir, I'm not asking if there's any, I'm not asking if there's any, sort of move to curtail the price move. I'm just asking, if I remember right, the peak margin 2 weeks back when we saw the stocks, almost getting back to the highs, was somewhere around 4 to 5 rupees per liter. I'm just trying to figure out because it's, it impacts the market. That what's the margin currently right now?
No, Anuj, I mentioned earlier that the way you people calculate is on the day's crude and day's product pricing, or day's products and the sale pricing. But actually it doesn't happen. So the actual margins which a company gets is right from crude up to the end versus the international product prices, and there is a time cycle in it. From the time you receive the crude, the time you process it, time you save it. So actual margin which a company will get will be the difference of the international product prices minus the total cost plus the crude prices, what we do, though it is derived based on the international product prices on day-to-day basis.
Sure.
So the way one will calculate that today, if suppose there is X pricing and X pump pricing, and that's the gross margin, but the actual margin of the companies may be different than that because of the time cycles.
All right, Mr. Rana, I'll respect that and won't ask you any more question on that. Just one more question from my side. With after merger with ONGC's stake buy, how does life change at HPCL?
No, I think I mentioned earlier it is not a merger. So HPCL continues to be an independent listed company managed by its board, and we are operating the way we were operating earlier. So as far as HPCL is concerned, we are maintaining all our growth plan, our projects, our way of operation, our decision-making process the way it was.
Okay. So, if you can tell us whether you had good inventory levels in the fourth quarter, and therefore should that reflect in the fourth quarter's P&L?
See, there is a norm under which we maintain the inventory of products and crude at our refineries and marketing locations. So that will be like this. There is a possibility of inventory gains because there was a strengthening of the crude prices and the product prices.
Okay. Can you also give us an update on what's happening with demand? Because there has been a slowdown as far as, auto, aviation sector is concerned. What has that done to the demand itself, and what kind of growth do you see as we go ahead?
See, if you see 2018-19, the overall growth of the industry was around 4.7 to 4.8%. MS grew approximately by around 8.2%, HSD by around 3%, LPG by around 7%, aviation by 9.6% or so. If you see the last year, means 17-18, the growth was slightly higher than that. It was around overall 5.3%. So still on a growth of 5.3% last year, a growth of 4.8% is a reasonably good growth. Now, as far as the commercial vehicles are concerned, let's say the HSD driven vehicles, there had been a increase in demand of around 20%. But as far as passenger vehicles are concerned, there is a reduced mix of diesel driven cars in the total mix because of the narrowing differential between petrol and HSD pricing. And that has got some impact on the diesel demand. The second part is with the improving power condition in the country, there is an impact on the demand of HSD in the power sector. So that may have some impact on the HSD growth. As far as MS growth is concerned, that was reasonable. ATF growth had been good because of the local connectivity. In fact, I think the ATF had been showing a positive growth since last 52 months. So overall, it is a good demand still, and right now is the election season. In election season, normally the demand is up for the HSD. So we expect this quarter to have the good growth.
All right, sir. We'll leave it at that. Pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Surana. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, with that, we shift back to markets, and we have seen a mild dose of profit taking over there.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a recovery as well, which is happening from the low point. So it's really all over the place. PSU banks are once again making a move from the low point. Indian Bank, PNB, Bank of India, all moving to the high point of the day after that initial downtake. Look at that move on the PSU bank index. It moved into the red, and immediately there was some buying. Bank of India, Indian Bank, couple of stocks looking up right now. Ashwini Gujral, Mitesh Thakkar back with us. Prakash Kaba also joining us in our studios. Ashwini, you were suggesting the long call in the morning. What would be the stop loss for that trade? And from here on, what would be your index call and stock calls?
So I had said that 11, 720, 740. Basically, the Friday's gain of the last hour will get taken out. So this is a good time to get long on Nifty, Bank Nifty. Basically, everything is known. One party will try to outdo the other party regarding the giveaway. Rest, same things again, farm-based manifesto. So I don't think there is much left to imagination. And given that we are in an uptrend, this sort of a gap down should be bought into. Having said that, DHFL is a buy with a stop of 167, target of 180. Havel's a buy with a stop of 758, target of 775. And HUL is a buy with a stop of 1635, target of 1710.
Okay. Mitesh is also with us. Good morning to you, Mitesh. What are you trading?
Morning, Lata. IGL, I think a strong breakout is taking place. It's moved up slightly, but around 312.13 would be a good buy. Keep a stop at 306. Look for 325 as the first target. And CSC could yet pick up steam. That's a buy with a very tight stop at 731 for targets of 762.
Okay, well, Prakash Gaba is also here with us. Just a couple of more stocks. Indiabulls Real Estate is having a big up move this morning, so keep an eye out on that. It's about a 13% rally that Indiabulls Real Estate is seeing at the high point of trade right now. And a couple of these, smaller sugar stocks are rallying. So Bajaj, Hindustan, etc. are all up about 7 to 8 odd percent. Pretty smooth traction there. Prakash, hi, morning. What have you noticed on the charts today?
Well, certainly you spotted very nice Indiabulls Realty. I think it's just raring to go. I have two stocks here. Basically, I'll go for Indiabulls Housing. That certainly is looking good to me. And looks like the targets on the upside is 930 because the initial selling has been taken care of. Stop below 888 should be fine. I also like NBCC. That certainly is looking good. I think NBCC is climbing to levels close to 70. That's the first stop, I would say. First stop. Stop below 62 should be okay.
Okay. Just one more stock call, Ashwini. DLF, if you looked at the charts.
DLF looks like it is going up, but I would much rather get into Godrej Properties or Shobha Developers. DLF still hanging around 150 to 250 broadly. I don't think much is really coming out of that.
Okay, well, gentlemen, thanks a lot for that. In fact, Sobha Developers has just released their Q4 update, and the new sales volumes have gone up 11.5% this time around. The sales value has risen about 8.5% at 700 odd crores. So they say that they have achieved a record fourth quarter in terms of pre-sales numbers. Let's get in the management now. JC Sharma, the Vice Chairman and MD of Sobha, joins us now to talk about that. Mr. Sharma, thanks so much for joining us. Your new sales value, the total new sales value has gone up 13.5% in this quarter. Tell us what went right and how is demand looking now over the next couple of quarters?
See, as far as demand is concerned, we believe despite whatever hiccups the economy as well as the sector has been going through, it is coming back in a sure-footed manner. As far as we are concerned, we have been launching good number of projects and especially in the last 2 quarters we have launched quite a number of projects throughout India, and those launches has helped us in getting these kind of numbers, where for the first time we have crossed 4 million square feet of new sales. For the first time in Bangalore we have done 2.76 million square feet of new sales, and we believe that these new launches what we have done in the recent past and likely to do in the coming quarters should help us to maintain this kind of a growth momentum, and double-digit growth even in this financial year 19-20 also looks achievable.
Okay, that's so good to hear, sir. We have been getting some pessimistic news from consumer durable guys, and it's good to hear that home sales have picked up. Can you give some geographical color?
Of course, yes. If you look at the core market had always been Bangalore, which constitutes more than 75% of our sales, and it continues to grow. As far as our Kerala market is concerned, despite the flood scare what we have had in the second quarter, it has recovered quite well, and it looks like it will be again the star performer in this current financial year. And the Gurgaon market also, it had seen some kind of a blip in the third quarter. It has recovered well. And in Chennai also, with the new launch and one more launch likely to happen in the next quarter, we hope that we should be doing better in this financial year. These are our core markets. We have just launched a project in Gift City, and we are likely to launch a project in this month in Pune. This should also help us in achieving good number of traction in these two markets also.
Okay, so just talking a little more about your debut in the Gujarat market with that 500,000 square feet launch in Gift City. That's in the mid-income housing space. Any more launches that are lined up in Gujarat itself, and how is that market looking? What kind of growth potential do you see from there?
See, we have got 3 more land parcels in the Gift City, and we believe that at least 2 more projects in the Gift City itself we should be launching. Then we the kind of response what we believe we should be getting, if it is according to those kind of expectations, definitely we will be deepening our presence in the Ahmedabad city as well as in some of the other cities we are looking at. Our guess is now that prima facie, whatever challenges, structural or otherwise, from economy point of view, while we keep talking about, because still most of the developers, they have not yet been able to overcome, they are becoming things of the past. Whereas new buyers, genuine buyers, they are coming to the market and buying in a big way. And you will from now onwards, most of the real estate companies who are in the organized in our team, they will show much significantly improved result than what we have been seeing in last 4 or 5 years.
So have you been able to push up prices or is more getting done at a slightly more subdued rate of growth of prices?
That's a very valid question. As far as the pricing is concerned, sometimes we do wish that yes, we should be able to get remunerative prices for our products. But looking at the overall environment and looking at that the NBFC and the liquidity issues with which most of the developers are currently facing and who are in a position to offer products at relatively lower prices, I still feel that the pricing power is still away from the developers.
Okay, just one final question
then. But as far as the margins are concerned...
Sure.
Go ahead, sir.
So as far as the margins are concerned, my belief is that yes, till they remain protected, our focus should be first to consolidate and grow the volumes. Maybe in a year's time when the supply side pressure is less, the pricing power also will start coming in.
Okay, all right. We will leave it at that. We've run out of time, but thank you so much for giving us a ground check on what's happening with demand. That is surprisingly a very positive real estate company talking about demand picking up, and some of the core markets like Bangalore, they're going to be launching a lot of new projects. Also, in new markets like Gujarat, they have entered into 3 land parcels is what they have, and 2 more projects in Gift City lined up very soon. But let's move on. Commodities is the space we're going to be focused on right now. Crude has been inching higher, has crossed $70 a barrel. Manisha Gupta, commodities editor, is here with us to talk more about that. Hi, Manisha. Good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you so much for that. Well, yes, we have seen the crude oil prices run up and about in this year until now, and we are looking at $70 per barrel holding for the Brent prices, and we are up 30% now for this year. The Indian market's clearly catching up to the kind of run-up that we saw on Friday, so more than a percentage point of gains on your screens. 4,400 is taken now in the Indian bourses there. Well, you are looking at unrest in Libya and Venezuela, so there are supply concerns from these 2 major oil producers. The OPEC cuts have continued for 4 months now, and the OPEC output is at a 4-year low, and that has been supportive. And the markets do estimate that with the kind of data that we are looking at now from US, China, etc., it seems to be picking up, so the demand actually could see some support as well, is yet another reason that you have seen the crude oil prices taking all that support. So 5-month highs is how we are trading onto that space. Take a look also at the gold and silver prices. Not such a great day, or week rather, in the previous one. Some bit of a buying coming in on your screens right now, but this clearly is catching up. The Indian markets are trading higher than what we've done in the international space there. Keep an eye also on the US data that continues in this week. Wednesday, you also have the US Fed March meeting minutes also being released. So much of the direction really would come in from there in this space. The base metal prices also have seen it quite well, especially the ferrous metals, where we have seen nearly 3% of gains come in China. Remember, it has been a long weekend and China returns today after a three-day break there. And the markets are looking at supply concerns, strong demand estimates for this quarter. Also, the refining margins have seen a pickup also. Expectation that China's stimulus measures could be seen. The US jobs data has been positive. The global equity markets are doing well. So there is a long list of positives that seems to be supporting those metal prices. So 0.5 to 1.5% of gains is what we have open trade on that one. Trading strategies, and we have them from KDR Commodities. It's a buy in precious metal space for today. For gold, they're expecting targets of 32,150. Silver as well continues to be a buy for a second straight day. 38,000 is what you could see in the day today.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Manish.